Hi, my name is Sarah Sewell, and I'm a teaching candidate with Grand Canyon University. I believe as an educator that every student deserves the same opportunity to be treated fairly. I believe it is my job to make sure that happens and to advocate for them. I think I would be a good teacher. I would be a successful teacher because I'm sensitive to individual learning needs and to social needs. I encourage friendship in my classroom. I encourage them to be themselves. I encourage them to work at their own pace, that, this is not a race, this is life. I make sure they all feel loved and safe as soon as they step through the foot of my classroom door. I do active inquiry assignments in my classroom as well, so I am promoting active inquiry every day. The first thing that they do when they sit down is answer a question that is posted on the board. It usually has something to do either with current events or critical thinking, something to get them thinking in ways that they really probably haven't before. I'm very passionate about critical thinking and getting that into the classroom. I also understand the importance of community. I understand how big of a role it can play in a school system. I'm from a very small town, and I work actually where I went to school and grew up, so I know how big of a deal community is, especially in a smaller school system. And I am constantly encouraging them to go out in the community, to volunteer, to work, just to get out there and to do something productive. Even in middle school, I feel like that's a big thing that we don't always talk about, and it's something that I encourage in my students and in my classroom. Before I enter the classroom as a first-year teacher, I need to work on fairness, and I will be honest about that. I'm still trying to figure out how to have a successful grading scale. It's probably been the hardest thing for me this first couple of weeks, as all I teach is study skills, so you would think that was kind of self-explanatory, but it's something that I've really had to work on with students. They have a sheet they're supposed to turn in every week, and sometimes it's late, and sometimes it's hard for me to see, well, I just need to count off points because it was late, but sometimes they have things going on or stuff's going on at home. And I'm not consistent with my grading scale, specifically on late assignments, and it's something I definitely know that I need to work on. I'm also not as dedicated to lifelong learning as I should be. That's another thing that I'm honest with, and I know it's not really something that I thought about until this class, honestly. I knew I needed to go to school, I knew I needed to continue learning, but I really didn't think about lifelong learning as an educator until this class. So one thing that I've started doing that I'm trying to implement is researching current issues in education. I'm trying to stay up to date on the laws and up to date on what's happening in education, especially special education. So that's something that I know I need to work on, and I will be working on. So for me, what a professional educator looks like one of my colleagues. She has been extraordinarily helpful to me. She was actually the one who suggested I attend Grand Canyon University. That's where she got her degree. So what an educator, a professional educator, looks like and the kind of standards they follow is they're big on ethical standards. They're always backed by standards because they're always doing the right thing. Professional educators are never biased. They don't hold biases against students, making them fair, making their classroom an equal opportunity for everybody, and it's something I strive for, and I would like to do. They also have the student's best interest at heart. They advocate for the student consistently. Whatever that student needs, whether it is social help, emotional help, or academic help, they are always advocating for what the student needs. They are the student's biggest fan, and relying on the ethical standards that we have studied in this class to make sure that happens. I know I'm not a perfect teacher, and I don't know near enough yet, but I strive and I pray that what I'm learning in these courses and the depositions that I studied for this assignment will help me be a better teacher and a better educator in the future.